Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to go over our daily technical analysis of oil and natural gas. It's one of my favorite sectors. I think it has a great potential for future appreciation. Good valuations, good market conditions. Inflation is high. This is a very inflation-sensitive asset. It's going higher, especially next year, I think, and the years to come. So let's look at the charts. I'll give you my financial opinion. Please don't use this as advice. But let's look at the charts here. I'm going to make some comments. And what I drew in here was kind of what I thought the pattern might do. We might get a little bit of bouncing, then we'll maybe eventually head higher. We came into this pattern. This is a bullish pattern to move on up. They released the reserves, the petroleum reserves here. They released the moronic virus, and this was the big sell-off day for the moronic virus. We're coming on down, and the structural market conditions do not want this to go lower. We have a structural deficit in oil. Inventories are getting eaten up. Prices are going to have to go higher. So what they did was they created a buying opportunity for us and everyone else who is looking at the oil markets. We're probably going to move sideways a little bit, and then we'll eventually break to the upside, is my guess. And we had an up day today in oil. Looking at natural gas, what I think is going to happen here, we have a lot of downside momentum. We came back up, another downside kind of spill out. We'll probably go sideways for a little bit. I just drew this sideways here. It could be up here, wherever it is. It's going to go sideways, and then we'll eventually move higher. SM Energy, bullish engulfing with a hammer pattern. That's what this guy is here, bullish engulfing with a hammer pattern to move on up. On a big long-term perspective, we are developing what I consider to be a shoulder area here for a move higher. And the shoulder doesn't have to be big. It could just kind of barely move across and over to the side. But shoulder, head, shoulder of an inverted head and shoulder pattern with a projected move of about $61, $62. CDEV is another one. It's got a inverted head and shoulders pattern. We broke out. We're doing a little bit of almost like a back test from the moronic virus release. We have another hammer pattern on a daily candlestick basis. There's your hammer pattern that I'm showing you. This is a reversal pattern to move on up. That's what it statistically has for that pattern. So that looks good. Crew Energies also has a hammer pattern. We dipped out of the support channel. We came down, hammer pattern. Hopefully we can bounce right back up and start moving on higher. CPE, this is Callon Petroleum, another hammer pattern. Sometimes what happens is you come in, we come down into a point, we come back up, and we do like almost a double bottom, and that's what we're doing, and I think we'll see some upside here. Another bullish hammer pattern for Athabasca Oil. Again, we came back, hit our head on this resistance line, pulled back a little bit, and we'll attack it again. What we're doing is we're putting in the right-hand shoulder of this pattern of an inverted head and shoulder pattern for Athabasca Oil. Recaf, looking at this guy, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. It's been moving sideways. Big buying pressure coming up from the $3.60 range. Moving a little bit sideways. It's been chopping sideways. Nice, good bullish pattern today, which is a bullish engulfing of the day before it, barely. Let's see if this thing can run to the upside. Northern Oil and Gas, bullish engulfing pattern, or bullish hammer pattern on the short term, on the daily dailies. We came up, bounced back, double bottom potentially. Hopefully we can move on up from here with support here. Here's Crescent Point Energy Corporation. Coming on back, this one's right at its inverted head and shoulder pattern. And we're right at there trying to break on higher. The moronic virus gave us a little bit of a downward movement, but this thing's been holding strong. Hopefully we can break on out of here. GTE's finding a double bottom. Hopefully we can move on up with Grand Tierra Energy. Another one there. This is a very good pattern on a long-term perspective. Kind of coming down here. We're just breaking through and moving higher. Tellurian. This guy was breaking out of the downside here. Again, I just hold on to these assets. I don't do anything with them. I don't sell them. If you guys are trading, you'd say that this is a broken pattern to the downside. I still think this has to go higher, but that's just me. Maybe I'm just crazy with the valuations and what these guys are selling. But nice, good hammer pattern here to potentially be a reversal pattern to move on up. PED is a company that I've been watching. It's just right in the corner of this pattern, guys. If you want a big pattern like this, actually, I got to make myself a note on this one. This looks fantastic to a break, either down or up at any second here. I'm seeing the volume step in. I think this is going to break to the upside and have a big move after it, potentially. Looks like it might have a lot of debt. Maybe it's been diluting some shares, but hopefully it can turn around here. OAS, another company. This one went bankrupt. It released, and I bought it after the bankruptcy. It's been riding higher. I'm still holding on to it. Does look like it broke out to the downside of its trend line. Hopefully we can regain it. I'm pretty bullish on oil, so I'm just holding on to my oil shares. I don't care what the charts necessarily look like at some of them, but this guy's turning around. It's looking really good on a big long-term perspective. Looks good there. Did a return move. Looks good with a nice big bullish engulfing pattern here. Hopefully we can head higher in Comstock Resources, CRK. Sandridge SD, looks like we could be putting in a double bottom. Nice big hammer pattern. Let's hope we can get the momentum to move on up. Looking at Tetra Technologies, looks like we're getting the bottom here. Bullish engulfing. Hopefully we can turn on up and move higher. Double bottom on Transocean. Looks good to maybe add in here even. Hopefully we can get some momentum to the upside. Helix Energy Solutions, nice big old 10.5% up day. This is in a big pattern. If you guys are very, very patient, we're coming to the tip of this pattern over here and, sprinkling in a little bit of money for a long-term perspective move. It could head lower. You might want to just cost average in. When we break this pattern here, it'll move. Big move up. ZPTAF, this is Surge Energy coming back on the retest. Hammer candlestick on the daily pattern. I think we could potentially be turning up and moving higher here. And here's Tamarack Valley Energy. I was looking at this one. Big old pattern. Hasn't broken to the upside yet. Looking at the dailies, it looks like we got a nice little bullish piercing and another bullish piercing here. Hopefully we can get some upside momentum here, hopefully. But that's what I've got for today for oil and natural gas. It does look like we're putting in some, little bottoming patterns here. I think it's looking a lot better. We may still have a little bit extra move to the side, sideways movement before moving up, but buyers are stepping in, seeing some buying pressure. That's positive. I think it's looking a lot better than it has been, and hopefully we can get some upside momentum here to move on up. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.